Alright guys, I know you want to grow as fast as you can. Everyone in the gym wants to build muscle. But because we live in a world where we're so used to getting everything fast and when we want it, this attitude has spilled over into what it takes to see results in the gym. And a lot of the young guys in my gym, I can tell they're getting frustrated because they've been training for 4 to 6 months and haven't packed on 50 pounds of muscle yet. So they turn to Instagram and TikTok for quick tips and unique exercises because they're convinced the reason they're not growing fast is because their program is junk, and that it has nothing to do with the fact that natural growth takes time and dedication. But then what happens is that these guys quickly find themselves going down a rabbit hole of unconventional training and implementing exercises into their routines that are simply a waste of time. Guys, different doesn't always equal better. So today, if anything, my goal is to get the message across that you need to stop searching for shortcuts and just keep your head down, put in the work, grind, and the gains will come. Also, it's January. So that means it's a new year, and if you focus hard now, I know that by the end of the year, you'll find yourself in a totally different place in terms of your fitness journey. So if you want to see real progress, here's the best advice you're ever going to hear. Number 1, pick a program that fits your schedule. If you can only train 2 to 3 days a week, then start out with a full body, upper-lower split, or push-pull legs workout, because the worst thing you can do from the start is commit yourself to a program that you just don't have time for. Then once you have your program picked out, let's say it takes 90 minutes to complete the workouts, but you only have 60 minutes to train. Just reduce the overall amount of sets on some of the exercises to fit your time constraints. It's really not that big of a deal, and it is a much better alternative than stressing out about it or skipping key exercises because you ran out of time. In fact, you can click this link right here and go to my website, muscularstrength.com, and try any of my programs for 7 days free. And if you need help adjusting them to fit your schedule, all you have to do is leave a comment and I'll help you out. Now, for those of you who can train 5 to 6 days a week, you can still utilize one of the previously mentioned programs, or you can opt for a bro split, which is my favorite kind of program to train with because it allows you to focus a lot more volume on 1 to 2 muscle groups a day. Now, the second thing you need to do is that once you have your program picked out, the next step is focusing on learning and perfecting your form on every exercise. Now, if you picked one of my programs to start with, you would have already noticed that I always focus on the basics for my exercises, and by basics, I mean traditional bodybuilding movements that have been a staple in training for decades. Bench press, squat, row, deadlift, pull-up, dip, curl, shoulder press. Movements that allow you to both train heavy and maximize muscle activation. All of these specialty exercises that you see really muscular and shredded guys messing with on Instagram or TikTok, newsflash, they didn't get in that kind of shape doing those specialty exercises, okay? It's all bullshit for views. They just look good demonstrating them because they're already in great shape from sticking to traditional training for years. Is this making sense yet? So what's next? You've got your program, you've mastered proper form, but you feel like you've plateaued and are not getting any stronger or bigger. Well, you have a few options, and no, you don't have to find a new program just yet. You can simply just start boosting the overall intensity of your current program, and you can do it a few different ways. The first way is as easy as adding 1 to 2 more sets to all your exercises and shortening the rest periods. Over the course of 4 to 6 weeks of training, I'm sure you've noticed that you're finishing your workouts much faster because your body has adapted to the exercises. So take advantage of this and begin by adding more sets to your compound movements first. So bench press, squat, deadlift, rows, etc. Okay? Another way to increase the intensity is to keep the program exactly the same, but add in drop sets. This is because a drop set allows you to add in more overall training volume to every exercise without really extending the workout time that much. All you do is finish your working set of, say, 8 repetitions, and then immediately drop the weight and crush another 8 to 10 reps with lighter weight before doing your rest period. And I guarantee after a week of doing this on every set of every exercise, you'll understand just how powerful a drop set can be in terms of building muscle and strength. Now, you don't have to add this to every set of every exercise, guys, but maybe start out at least by adding drop sets to your compound lifts first. One more way to increase the intensity is to focus on heavy negatives, either with the help of a spotter or by using a bit of momentum to cheat through the concentric phase of your exercises. Guys, if you want to increase the weight on, say, a lat pull down, and you get stuck at 5 reps and you want to do 8 reps, there's nothing wrong with cheating a bit to finish the set. Because you've already took the time to master proper form on your exercises, you'll know how to control the weight even if using a bit of momentum. Now, obviously, there are more techniques than just these 3 to increase the intensity of your program, but these techniques are certainly enough to help you see continued progress for a few years. It's really not as complicated as people make it out to be. To get big, you just need to be consistent, lift heavy, and bring the intensity. But this also brings me to the 4th point I want to make, okay? And the 4th and final topic I want to leave you guys with is nutrition, which should really be the first thing that we talk about, but let's face it, nobody wants to hear eat more to grow, even though it's the truth. So if you've made it this far, congratulations, and be sure to smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. All right, so nutrition. Unless you're trying to get stage ready for a show, like a bodybuilding competition, you don't have to be so intense about counting your macros. In fact, you can just do a quick calculation on the meal planner page on my website and then use that as your base or starting macros. From there, it'll be up to you to learn how to listen to your body, and here are some quick tips on how to do it. If after a few days you find that you're still really hungry, even after consuming your meals for the day, the first thing you should do is try boosting your water intake because you could be low and that's making you hungry. A lot of you can't really tell the difference between being hungry or being thirsty until you start experimenting like this. Then if that doesn't work to stave off your hunger, start boosting your calories by 200 to 250 every few days until you feel satisfied. And for most of you, you'll probably have a macro breakdown close to 40% protein, 40% carbs, and 20% fat. Now, if after a few days you find yourself feeling really full or lethargic all the time, chances are you might be eating too much. So do the exact opposite. Instead of adding calories, reduce your calories by 200 to 250 every few days until you feel satisfied but not bloated. Then, once your base meal plan is nailed down, be sure to slightly increase your calories, again, by like 200 to 250 every 3 to 4 weeks to keep up with the gains that you're making. But if after a few months of gradually increasing calories, you notice you're packing on a bit more fat than you had hoped to gain, then all this means is that your surplus is slightly higher than it needs to be. So once again, reduce calories by a couple hundred and see how things play out over the course of the next few days to a week. You see, guys, it's all about being consistent with your training and making micro adjustments week to week when it comes to figuring out your meal plan. That's it. And the majority of the time, the macro you'll be adjusting the most is probably going to be your carbohydrates. Also, for those of you who might have a hard time hitting your protein goals, the first thing you need to do is try to get as much protein as you can from food, and then just fill in the gaps with a protein shake like BSN Synthesix Edge. I've been using it for years because one scoop is a solid 24 grams of protein with only 150 calories and 6 grams of carbohydrates. So it'll fit perfectly into your meal plan whether you're trying to lean out or build muscle. And again, before you guys take off, be sure to smash that like button if you enjoy my videos because it really helps the channel see continued growth. And if you guys have any questions, just be sure to post them below and I'll do my best to answer them. And as always, more good stuff coming soon. See ya.